Hi, how are you? I am not well, but I'm also I'm on the fence about this one. This one was gonna be, to me, it was gonna be a little more straightforward. It wasn't gonna sound sappy. It was gonna be weird, because I was gonna have the title. It was gonna be super misleading, because then I get into the topic, and then it just shifts a whole different direction. Um, I do not want to be here at all. Um, It's a it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. And by a whole thing, I mean it's like your entire life up to having depression. It's God, how would I even describe it? I have made a lot of connections in my life, and there have been constant downs, but at the same time, that doesn't mean I haven't had a lot of ups. I've had a lot of good moments in my life, and what worries me the most about me is knowing that I am still very suicidal, and it's not in a way that a lot of people would understand. It's like, you wake up every day and you don't want to do the routine you're doing. But it's more than that. It's watching everyone put their lives aside to basically make a living, and like society and everything that they've forced on, like every generation, every other generation, time changes, jobs change, like your self-worth changes. um Drastic situations in the world can motivate others to make a living for themselves, and that I think is what I want to go with. Make a living for yourself. I need you to actually sit back and think about everything you do every day and how exhausting that is. That depresses me. It depresses me so much that we've let ourselves get so caught up in the lives that other people want us to have, you know? There were times when people just enjoyed life. They didn't have any responsibilities, and nowadays they want to hammer the idea of responsibilities into your head so you can find some sort of self-worth. But really it's just making sure everyone's working. That's all it is. That's all they want you to do. They want to make sure each generation has so many people that work does not stop, especially nowadays. Before it was a little more different, but as soon as we started governing more people and keeping track of everyone, it just got different. It got very different compared to like 200 years ago. um, I don't like that routine. I don't like that we have to just accept that. I hate that a lot of us just can't accept just being ourselves, and the cost of living, the cost to eat, the way they just force you into a work situation. It is like, be on the outside looking in. Just watch that. Watch it happen. Whenever you wake up and go to work when you could have just slept in, like, look at the hobbies you could have and realize that your hobbies cost money. Some hobbies don't cost money, but most hobbies cost money. And it's something you take pride in. It's something you really want to do. But you have to work all the time. You don't have time for your hobbies. You don't have time for your life anymore. Once you get older, you're like forced into this situation where people will look down on you if you do not have more figured out at a young age. And it's really, I feel like that really affects younger generations' minds, because like at a young age, you're told you have to do this, you have to do that. And it really takes away from being happy. And that really, like I said, it doesn't hit you until you notice yourself doing it. It doesn't hit you till you realize, here I'm in my teens, here I'm in my 20s, and then you're in your 30s, you're in your 40s, and you're like halfway done. You're halfway done with your life already. And it's just so sickening that the time you spent trying to, I guess in a way, make someone else happy while also trying, like sometimes it feels like you're putting your work first. So that's your work first. And that's you putting their needs before yours, and then you come second. But then sometimes, things get in the way. You meet people, you have family, then they come second, or they come third. Some people get so lost in making their job their number one priority, I just feel like their entire personality changes. And I see that with myself. I used to goof off a lot. I used to just have a good time. And then when you get older, you like to goof off a little bit at work here and there, but but eventually you just feel like you are a drone to the job you are assigned to. And I feel like that can depress people. It depresses me because I think about it all the time. I think about my change in appearance, the time I spent trying to work on myself outside of like a job, working for a paycheck just to afford the things I enjoy having, and just looking at it, looking that we do that. It kills me. It kills me because a lot of people, it feels like they are losing themselves to survival. Like you look at like movies and dystopian futures where everything just, it looks so much easier. And and the whole point is you have to work towards that. You have to work towards that future, but it doesn't feel like we're making any right moves to be reaching that kind of future at all. You know, some people have jobs that literally kill them. They somehow need to balance having a family with relationships, and you're working every day. You don't even know who you are when you're at home anymore. You get so used to the grind that you just become an entirely different person. And it really makes you wonder about your parents and their grandparents, because at some point they were ignorant and naive. Not in a bad way, but ignorant to like everything that's going on around them. They enjoyed themselves. They had fun. They loved everything for no reason. They just loved it. They loved to be alive. And over time you find meaning in the life you live. And it always revolves around wanting something or wanting something for someone else. But to make sure that happens, you have to dedicate your time to making sure it happens. And again, feeding into that endless cycle that you have to put yourself through every day, it can get to you. It can really get to you. You just need to sit there, think about what you're doing every day, and you really got to wonder who you are. And I think more people need to self-reflect. Who am I as a person? What do I do for fun? Who am I when no one is around me? I want to know those people. I want to know those people that actually put the effort. Actually, it's not even effort. It's effortless. If you just sat down and thought about what you are instead of what part do you have to play in society today. I'm tired of the fake I'm tired of the fake personalities everyone has to give you to just make, the companies look good. That always bugged me. And I don't feel like companies understand how people work. Sometimes people like a personality, and they just embed it in your head that you need to be you need to have that mindset at your work. Whatever personality they're wearing, they need to make sure you have it at all times. And I just think that's disgusting. You know, I've met a lot of people at different jobs, and they look so miserable. You know, it's the same. How are you? You have a good one. And some interesting people, they'll spice it up a little bit, and it gets good. They're trying to let themselves come out, and then it takes like that one group of people that think they're being disrespectful. Sometimes I've just met people that just joke with customers, and then the customers can't take that. They don't appreciate that too much. And I feel like thinking like that, it really takes away from your personality, because now you're relating that bad experience to being at work, and then you kind of just beat yourself down the entire time. And it makes me not want to be here. That this is time now. This isn't throughout history. This is like me now. Me now realizing that, and hoping more people realize that. They just lose themselves as they get older, and I feel like that can get to some people. And it makes me not want to be here. It makes me so like disappointed that I grew up in this time period right now, and then whenever people judge you for saying that, you know, they're only comparing your time now to a time they understood before, regardless of if time's gonna move forward into like a better direction for the world. You know, it doesn't matter how you feel. And then they insult you. They insult you because you aren't taking life seriously enough. And I swear I feel like you can balance both easily. You can still be yourself. You can have a personality. You can go to your job. Even though I don't think anyone should work as much as they do. Like, it is so sickening thinking about you don't get to see your parents, you don't get to see your friends. To other younger parents, you start to realize you have less time with your children if you know, settle down early. You get married young, and that lifestyle takes it away, and you take pride in the little things you get, like, oh, my credit went up, I'm gonna get a new couch, I'm gonna get a new TV, and then I'm just gonna work to pay that off. And it just starts the cycle. And then that's what they want you to do. They want you to always want something. And they know that. They know that all the time. And that's why it doesn't stop, because we all feed into it. They want us to lean into no other alternative. But they also want to make sure you're always occupied with something. They always want to make sure you have something to occupy yourself. And I don't think there's any future I can think of currently that it won't always be that way. You'll always want something, and there will always be work to be done to make sure you have it. And I just feel like we've been made to like be greedy. And sometimes it's not even that it's greedy, it's just like an instinct. You know, you want something. You want something, and you have to work for it. Then you work for it. Then you want some more. You have to work more. You want bigger, more expensive things. You work even more, and it's just taking away from your time. You do that when you're in your early 20s. Next thing you know, you're in your 30s. And that's when it really gets depressing. The amount of time we have to give to someone else or something else over and over again until we die. And that's it. It's just until we die. And I can see why so many people have midlife crises. Because that's a lot. That's a lot when you realize it. That's a lot when you realize it. It's a lot when you're doing it. You realize you've spent so much time trying to gain things that you're not going to take with you to the grave at all. It was just things to occupy your time longer and longer. And that's just how corporations work. They want to keep you busy, and that's just how jobs are too. They want to make sure you're always working. I don't know. It makes me sound like it makes me sound weird explaining that to friends that work all the time, and it's like, can you take a second to look at what you're doing? And I want you to take a second and look how you're defending it as well. I get it's your livelihood, but it's not your entire personality. Your job is not your personality. Even when jobs become less like work and it just becomes life, I just feel like that's a weird trick too, because now you've convinced yourself this is more than a job. This is everything to you. You've put so much time into being someone else that someone else wanted you to be, knowing they would replace you in a heartbeat. Like, sure, they'll tell stories of you. If you're that great of a worker, they will tell stories of you. But that does not stop the next one in line from being an even greater one. And it's like an endless cycle. That's all it is. Until we start working on ourselves as a whole. And I mean, like, the world. We cannot work towards anything more than what's going on right now. And that's all we're gonna be. We're all just gonna be drones to someone else. We're always gonna do stuff that other people want us to do, and it becomes less about you, despite it being your life. This is your life. You get to decide what you get to do and how you get to live it and how you want to spend it. We don't have anyone that's gonna last forever. We're not gonna last forever. And we spend so much time on the wrong things. And like I said, just noticing it hurts. I don't like watching it. I don't like waking up and knowing I just have to go to work. I am tired. I am physically exhausted. I am tired. I get up and I get ready to go to a work. I don't mind it. I don't mind the job I have, but that's just it playing its trick on me. I don't mind this job. It's easier than the other jobs I've had. I enjoy the job I have now, but now I'm being, again, tricked into enjoying something that I was just talking crap on. Now I am the person who's going to work because I need to survive. And I get so caught up in just going to work. Now I'm starting to like it. It's becoming less like a job. And I feel like that's a huge problem too. Now I'm feeding into the issues I just talked about this entire time. I don't like where society's heading. I don't like where a lot of people are heading. Because I just feel like we're constantly destroying ourselves. Sure, this is just about businesses. This is just about businesses. This is about you finding yourself and not being able to. I think is my point here. Is I'm really upset by that. This wasn't gonna be a huge depressing video like the other ones have. I didn't want it to be like that. I didn't want it to be like that at all. But I just want more people to think about what they're doing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying, doesn't that suck? That's it. This is a whole video about me saying, doesn't that suck though? And it's more than me just saying, doesn't that suck though? It's actually thinking about, wow, I do not get to spend time with my girlfriend, my boyfriend. I do not get to spend time with my kids. My family's getting older. I'm getting older. And it's just taken away from everything that you thought you were going to be when you were older. You lose friends. Friends die. I've been there. I've lost a few friends, and it's just it's hard. It's hard. That was my only point with that. It was hard. This one was gonna be short. It was really, it was just me talking crap on everyone's lifestyle, and to really think about why we do this. And I hope someone gives me reasons. I'm here. Here's what I want out of this. I want people to tell me their reasons for going on. I want to know like the best reason to continue doing this, because it depresses the hell out of me. I just wanted to talk about it. There was nothing more to it than that. And everyone can think what they want of me about it. Because guess what? I'm still going to work. I'm still doing the thing I just pushed away and said, hey, have you ever thought about how garbage this is? Because it is. You know, living the dream. But whose dream are you living? Because it ain't mine. I never dreamt of this. I never wanted to be in this position. I thought I'd be doing something that made me happy. And I got so lost in the routine, I became less happy and more comfortable being less happy. I think that's all I wanted with this one. Like I said, it was going to be a short one. I didn't like doing half-hour ones, but at the same time, I'm like, there's still a lot I want to talk about. So for this one, I do appreciate anyone that heard this one. It kind of was out there. Like I said, it wasn't a mopey episode. It was not a mopey episode. I don't want to keep doing those. I do want to talk about things that bug me, but this wasn't one of. Well, yeah, this is one of them. So I do appreciate anyone that heard me. This talking about everything helps. Even it's easier for me to just sit here and talk about it than it is talking to someone else about it, because you can't even get a few sentences in to other people without them really looking at you different. And I don't want to do that. I'd rather just look at the screen and say how I feel. There's no resolution to these videos. It's me just talking. It's just me talking. And that's enough for me. Thank you for listening. At the end of each video, I do like to put a song in the description just to really set the tone for where I am mentally. And sometimes the songs aren't even related to the video. They are just like songs I picked. I'm like, this is a nice song. This is one of the songs I listen to. So I really do appreciate anyone that hears it. Check out the song, really set the theme, and hope to hear from you soon.